The House will come to order. Members will be at their seats. The clerk has opened the roll. You may record your presence. Please rise and give your attention to our guest chaplain, Pastor Rob Self, Lakeview Church of the Nazarene, Topeka, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Representative Boyd.
Will you pray with me? Lord, we thank you for this day that you've given us. Thank you for the safety of many that have made it here today. I pray that you'd be with those also that were unable to make it here because of the roads or the weather, whatever. But Lord, we want to thank you for the gifts that you've given us for this day to be a part of it. May we be an example, a leader, and most of all, united as we come together to further the needs of Kansans and of this nation. Lord, we ask that your sovereignty be extended through the discussion and the debates as they move forward in this House today. We also ask that we would be mindful of the needs of others, even those as near as our neighbors, those that are experiencing difficulty in Ohio, and even as far away as the Ukraine. Bless us today, Lord. We ask this now in Christ's name. And all God's children said, amen.
Safe.
Has every member had the opportunity to record their presence? The clerk will close the roll and record the attendance. Introduction of bills and concurrent resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill number 2423 by the Committee on Taxation, an act concerning civil actions and civil procedure, enacting the Act Against Abusive Access Litigation, creating a civil action for determining whether litigation that alleges any access to violation under the Americans with Disability Act or similar law constitutes abusive litigation and authorizing penalties for such abusive litigation. House Bill number 2424 by the Committee on Taxation, an act concerning taxation relating to income, privilege, and premium tax credits, establishing a refundable income tax credit for direct payments by employers to student loans on behalf of a qualified employee. House Bill number 2425 by the Committee on Taxation, an act concerning income taxation relating to credits, establishing a refundable income tax credit for tuition payments made to post-secondary educational institutions. House Bill number 2426 by the Committee on Federal and State Affairs, and that concerning criminal procedure relating to grand juries, authorizing appeals from certain decisions related to citizen-initiated grand juries. House Bill number 2427 by the Committee on Federal and State Affairs, an act concerning school districts relating to school-sponsored travel and activities, requiring separate overnight accommodations for students of each biological sex. House Bill number 2428 by the Committee on Appropriations, an act concerning retirement and pensions, relating to the Kansas Police and Firemen's Retirement System, providing for membership affiliation for certain security officers of the Department of Corrections and certain law enforcement officers and employees of the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks, establishing employee and employer contributions. House Bill number 2429 by the Committee on Appropriations, an act concerning abortion, establishing the Alternatives to Abortion Program and the Alternatives to Abortion Public Awareness Program, providing services that promote childbirth to women facing unplanned pregnancies, promoting public awareness of such services.
House Bill 2168 is withdrawn from the Committee on Agriculture and Natural Resources and referred to the Committee on Appropriations. Messages from the Senate. The clerk will read.
Announcing passage of Senate Bills 18, 59, 73, and 143. Senate Bill number 18 by the Committee on Financial Institutions and Insurance, an act concerning insurance, relating to insurance laws and enforcement thereof, adding certain legal entities to the definition of person. Senate Bill number 59 by Senators Vascodo and Haley, an act concerning days of commemoration, designating Martin Luther King Jr. Day at the Capitol. Senate Bill number 73 by the Committee on Judiciary, an act concerning crimes, punishment, and criminal procedure relating to crimes involving property, burglary and aggravated burglary, adding domestic battery and violation of a protection order to the list of crimes a person has intent to commit. Senate Bill number 143 by the Committee on Transportation, an act concerning motor vehicles relating to permitted lighting equipment, allowing for use of ground effect lighting.
House Bill 2089 appears on the consent calendar for the second day. Is there objection? Seeing none, it will remain on the consent calendar for the third day. House Bill 2090 appears on the consent calendar for the second day. Is there objection? Seeing none, it will remain on the consent calendar for the third day. House Bill 2284 appears on the consent calendar for the second day. Is there objection? Seeing none, it will remain on the consent calendar for the third day. House Bill 2285 appears on the consent calendar for the second day. Is there objection? Seeing none, it will remain on the consent calendar for the third day. Final action on bills and concurrent resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill number 2021 by the Committee on Corrections and Juvenile Justice, an act concerning children and minors relating to risk and needs assessment for certain children in need of care, allowing for overall case length limit extensions for certain juvenile offenders, requiring the Department of Corrections to create juvenile justice data systems, increasing use of evidence-based programs account money, authorizing detention sanctions or probation violations, and increasing the cumulative detention cap.
This constitutes final action on House Bill 2021. The clerk will open the roll and you may record your vote. All members will be in their seats. Has every member had the opportunity to record their vote? The clerk will close the roll. 1 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 roll Does any member desire to explain his or her vote? Does any member desire to change his or her vote? Representative Woodard votes no. Representative Ballard votes no. Representative Garber votes aye. Representative Owsley votes no. For an explanation to vote, the speaker recognizes Representative Owsley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, and thank you, body, for your patience. I apologize for not getting my hand up quicker. I was not planning upon explaining my vote here today, but as I am a no, I feel the need to explain that I feel like we do need to address what's going on with our JO kids and our SYNC kids. I don't think this is the right policy to do so. I'm glad to see the committee's taking it up. I hope that the Child Welfare Committee can have more input on it as we move forward. But at this time, I cannot support this, and I would add that I don't believe much policy good ever passes on a partisan vote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem.
Any further explanations of vote? Any further changes of vote? Seeing none. With 85 having voted in favor and 35 against the passage of House Bill 2021, the same having received a constitutional majority, the bill is hereby declared passed. The clerk will record the vote. Final action on bills and concurrent resolutions, the clerk will read.
House Bill number 2060 by the Committee on K-12 Education Budget, an act concerning education relating to special education and related services, establishing the Special Education and Related Services Funding Task Force.
This constitutes final action on House Bill 2060. The clerk has opened the roll, and you can record your vote. Has every member had the opportunity to record their vote? The clerk will close the roll. Does any member desire to explain his or her vote? The speaker recognizes Representative Fairchild.
Mr. Speaker, I vote no on House Bill 2060. I always vote against creating new task forces because I view it as being an expansion of government. There's always some expense involved with creating a new task force, and I believe that the issues that are studied in the task force could be studied during the regular session. However, I certainly appreciate all the hard work with Representative from Augusta has done on the special education issue. She's worked very hard at providing us with valuable information on special education, and I certainly appreciate that. Representatives Fairchild and Riley.
Speaker recognizes Representative Owsley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I am full of explanations today. However, on HB 2060, I vote no. Kansas Special Education Funding Distribution System has been in statute since 1974. Just since 1983, there have been 13 legislative post-audit reports related to at least 2 independent studies, and it's been reviewed in the court, and the distribution system has never been deemed to be inadequate, only the level of funding. We don't need another report. We need to fully fund SPED. Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I vote no on 2060.
All right. Any further explanations of vote? The Speaker recognizes Representative Penn for an explanation of vote.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In this past election, a number of my constituents had plenty of questions about the state of special education funding in the state of Kansas. This task force is proposed and well-balanced, as you can read from its appointments, to not only get at the nut and the kernel of truth of what happens with special education funding in the state of Kansas, but also helps us get to some of the solutions that we need for all of our constituents. So, if you're not going to be hypocritical about special education funding, I would suggest that you strongly vote for this bill. Thank you.
Any further explanation of votes? Are those explanation of votes or changes of votes? Explanation of votes. Okay, seeing none, any members like to change their votes? This Representative Sawyer votes no. Representative Miller votes no. Representative Vic Miller votes no. Representative Sawyer Clayton votes no. Representative Stogsdill votes no. Representative Curtis votes no. Representative Vaughn votes no. Representative Ohabisam votes no. Representative Heiberger votes no. Representative Hoagland votes no. Representative Carmichael votes no. Representative Haswood votes no. Representative Ballard votes no. Representative Shue votes no. Representative Amix votes no. Representative Boyd votes no. Representative Susan Ruiz votes no. Representative Alcala votes no. Representative Silas Miller votes no. Representative Melton votes no. Representative Martinez votes no. Representative Dennis Miller votes no. Representative Osman votes no. Representative Haskins votes no. Representative Weigel votes no. Representative Schlingensieben votes no. All right. Any other further changes of votes? Seeing none. With 83 having voted in favor and 37 against the passage of House Bill 2060, the same having received a constitutional majority, the bill is hereby declared passed. The clerk will record the vote. Final action on bills and concurrent resolutions, the clerk will read.
House Bill number 2234 by the Committee on Commerce, Labor, and Economic Development. An act relating to state construction or building improvement projects, increasing the cost threshold for the mandatory convening of a negotiating committee by the Secretary of Administration or agency head, and the selection of architectural, engineering, or land surveying services from a list of qualified firms, providing such cost threshold be increased annually based on the percentage increase of the Consumer Price Index, changing the measure of the cost threshold from total project costs to construction costs.
This constitutes final action on House Bill 2234. The clerk will open the roll and you may record your vote. Has every member had the opportunity to record their vote? The clerk will close the roll. Does any member desire to explain his or her vote? Does any member desire to change his or her vote? Seeing none, with 116 having voted in favor and 4 against the passage of House Bill 2234, the same having received a constitutional majority, the bill is hereby declared passed. The clerk will record the vote. Final action on bills and concurrent resolutions, the clerk will read.
House Concurrent Resolution Number 5004 by Representatives K. Williams, Thomas, and others. A concurrent resolution urging the United States Congress to fully fund the federal government's original funding promise under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act.
This constitutes final action on House Concurrent Resolution 5004. The clerk will open the roll, and you may record your vote. Has every member had the opportunity to record their vote? The clerk will close the roll. Does any member desire to explain his or her vote? Does any member desire to change his or her vote? Representative Landwehr votes aye. Any further changes? Seeing none, with 119 having voted in favor and 1 against the passage of House Concurrent Resolution 5004, the same having received a constitutional majority, the bill is hereby declared passed. The clerk will record the vote. The Speaker recognizes the Majority Leader Croft for a motion to resolve into the Committee of the Whole.
Mr. Speaker, I move the House resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the purpose of considering those items under the heading of General Orders.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The motion carries. The Speaker appoints Representative Concanon to chair the Committee of the Whole.
Good morning, everyone. Our first item of business is House Bill 2100. For the purpose of carrying House Bill 2100, the chair recognizes Representative Miller.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Good morning, body. I'm here to present House Bill 2100 for your consideration. House Bill 2100 amends a statute which concerns a standard regulatory tool referred to as risk-based capital. The goal of risk-based capital is to ensure each Kansas domestic company has the required amount of capital needed to support its overall business operations in consideration of its size and risk profile. This bill updates the version of the RBC instructions that companies are required to utilize as they calculate and report RBC. The amendment merely replaces 2021 with 2022 in the definition for RBC instructions. Implementing the RBC instructions is a national accreditation standard. A similar date change amended has been made by the legislature since 2009. And thank you very much. I will stand for questions if necessary.
Does any member desire to speak to the bill? The chair recognizes Representative Hsu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Representative. I think that was a very good summary of the bill. Is this your first time carrying a bill?
This is my first time carrying a bill, yes.
Incredible. So yesterday, we passed a bill out of the House that dealt with body art. Do you have any body art, Representative?
No, but I would like to someday if
Oh, okay. Maybe I see something right there.
birthmark.
Oh. Today's a special day, is it not, Representative?
Yes, today is a very special day.
What day is today?
Today's the day that my page, Victor, came all the way up from Wichita to visit me. Is it shameless plug?
The representative is also very humble. Today is also his birthday, so can we give a hand for the representative for carrying his first bill and also his birthday? Thank you. Oh, this is wild. It's wild.
Is there further discussion? The chair recognizes Representative Neighbor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is our yearly update from 21 to 22 on risk management. The gentleman did an excellent description of the bill, and I would ask for your support. Thank you, Madam Chair.
If there's no further discussion, Representative Miller, AKA Birthday Boy, you may close.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that when the committee rises and reports, it reports HB 2100 favorably for passage.
You've heard the motion by Representative Miller to report House Bill 2100 favorably. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. Motion passes. The next item of business is House Bill 2096. For the purposes of carrying House Bill 2096, the chair recognizes Representative Howell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There were no amendments. I arise before the body to present House Bill 2096. This bill changes the statutorily set premium tax deadline for group-funded pools and group-funded workers' compensation pools. Currently, the statutory premium tax deadline for these pools is 90 days after the end of each fiscal year. For the sake of uniformity, this bill changes this deadline from 90 days after the end of each fiscal year to calendar year to better align with current business practices at the department. There are 17 pools in Kansas, and 12 of them have their fiscal years end on December 31st, which is the same as the end of each calendar year. In the event that a new pool is formed, this change ensures that there is a streamlined due date for their premium tax. So to summarize, this is a technical fix and eliminates the ambiguity of the term fiscal year by changing the premium tax due date for pools to calendar year.
Does any member desire to speak to the bill? The chair recognizes Representative Neighbor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The carrier of the bill did a very good job on her description, and I would ask all of you to support House Bill 2096. Thank you.
If there's no further discussion, Representative Howell, you may close.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that when the body rises to report, they report HB 2096 favorably for passage.
You've heard the motion by Representative Howell to report House Bill 2096 favorably. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. Motion passes. The next item of business is House Bill 2093. For the purpose of carrying House Bill 2093, the chair recognizes Representative Underhill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There were no amendments in the committee to House Bill 2093. Therefore, I rise before the body to present House Bill 2093. What House Bill 2093 does was it repeals group-funded pools fee funds and the group-funded workers' compensation pools fee funds. Those two funds are imposed by the Kansas Insurance Department. They're meant to cover the cost of administration and oversight. Since 2015, the insurance commissioner has not seen a need to impose these assessments. There's $153,247 sitting in these two funds. So we're going to eliminate these two funds and move those funds into the, bear with me, the group-funded pools refund fund and give that money back to those individual pools. And with that, I will stand for questions.
Does any member desire to speak to the bill? Representative, I think you're gathering a lineup here of people who wish to speak to the bill. Representative Neighbor.
Carrier of the bill did an excellent job, and this is one of those bills that when you read it, you have to be sober. And I say that because the reviser was laughing in her office as she was writing this. And as an example, it says, the bill creates the group-funded pools refund and directs the Director of Accounts and reports to transfer the balances and existing liabilities of the group-funded pools fee fund and the group-funded workers' comp fee fund to the refund fund. Sober. As I said, the carrier of the bill did an excellent job, and I would ask for your support. Thank you.
Is there further discussion? The chair recognizes Representative Sutton. Sutton and Hoheisel.
And Hoheisel.
That's fair. It would take two of you guys to get
I
that
am
on.
not, I am not going to share the stage. Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple of questions for you. I am not here to haze you because I think that the phrasing of this bill was probably enough of a haze with the fund and the refund fund and the
All of the funds.
it got, but this is your first bill.
Very
Is
much
that
so.
correct?
Yep.
Well, you've done a fantastic job, and I welcome you to the legislature.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
The chair recognizes Representative Hoheisel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Will the carrier of the bill stand for a couple questions? First question, will you say refund fund for me?
Refund fund.
Excellent. So you're sober today.
Little bit.
Congratulations, buddy. You did an excellent job explaining this bill. Do you have any history of insurance at all? Or?
I am an insurance agent.
You are an insurance agent. What else do you like to do in your spare time?
I do strongman competition.
You do you power lift?
Yes, sir.
Really?
A little bit.
Okay.
On
All right.
weekends.
I'll take your word for it. Now, I looked you up last night on Google, and it seems you hold a couple of state records.
I do.
What kind of records?
I hold 8 state records for squat, bench, deadlift, and total in 2 weight classes.
Awesome. I bet you think you could outlift me.
I do.
You think that?
I do.
I'm not so sure about that, buddy. We will have a lift off sometime, but congratulations and welcome to the Kansas House.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
The chair recognizes Representative Humphreys. The chair recognizes Representative, no, there are no more lights now. If you don't wish to come up, then turn your light off now. Okay, if there's no further discussion, Representative Underhill, you may close.
Madam Chair, I move that when the body rises to report, that they report House Bill 2093 favorably for passage.
You've heard the motion by Representative Underhill to report House Bill 2093 favorably. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. Motion passes. The next item of business is House Bill 2314. For the purpose of carrying House Bill 2314, the chair recognizes Representative Howerton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise before the body to present House Bill 2314. It comes to us from the Legislative Modernization Committee with no amendments. So I like to live in my Pollyanna world, but reality is that there are some very concerning things out there that we need to be proactive and be responsible. FBI Director Chris Wray warned in December that TikTok could be used for espionage operations. China can, and I quote from him, manipulate content, and if they want to, use it for influence operations. Director Wray also said that all of these things are in the hands of a government that doesn't share our values and that has a mission that's very much at odds with what is in the best interest of the United States. He also added that that should concern us. On December 30th, 2022, Governor Kelly released Executive Order number 22-10 banning the use of the social media platform TikTok on all state-owned devices for Kansas executive branch agencies, boards, and commissions and their respective employees, and prohibits access on the state network. HB 2314 would prohibit state agency employees from installing and accessing social media platforms of concern on state-owned devices and networks and would require the chief information technology officers of the executive, the legislative, and the judicial branches of government to cooperate to ensure compliance with the provisions of this bill. The bill would define social media platform of concern to mean an application or website that is owned or controlled by TikTok or any of its subsidiaries or successor companies, or companies directly or indirectly controlled by TikTok. The prohibition would not apply to state agency employees accessing social media platforms of concern for law enforcement activities or cybersecurity investigations. There are 27 states that have banned TikTok in some form, either by law, executive order, or by the action of the technology managers. HB 2314 reduces possible data sharing with the Chinese Communist Party and reinforces the governor's executive order concerning TikTok. With that, Madam Chair, I stand for questions.
Does any member desire to speak to the bill? The chair recognizes Representative Owens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't know if any of you guys have had the opportunity to read one of the new books that was recently released by former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, but I want to share a quote. It says, if you're afraid to enforce the rules, if you continue to allow them to walk on the American economy, if you keep giving an inch in every space, they'll be inside the gates here in the United States. And frankly, that's what we face today. And that was in specific reference to the Communist Party of China. So with that, I have an amendment.
The clerk will read. Page 1, line 26, after means by inserting A, also on page 1 in line 29 after TikTok by inserting or B, an application or website that is owned or controlled by ByteDance Limited, a subsidiary or a successor company to ByteDance Limited, or a company directly or indirectly controlled by ByteDance Limited.
What this amendment does basically is just takes it a little step further and says that it's the parent company of TikTok and anything that they put out, any website, any app, or anything else that this company puts out. We all know that anybody, that any organization, that any company that the CCP does business with absolutely has access to all of their records, all of their information. And so while I recognize that the CCP does not represent the good people of China, and I firmly believe that they do not represent the good people of China, they are a communist party and have some level of control over every company that operates within their borders. And so I move my amendment that allows us to expand this beyond the single app to anything that the parent company ByteDance Limited puts on the market. Stand for questions.
To speak to the amendment, the chair recognizes Representative Stogsdill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This amendment and this bill does address a major concern that affects not only Kansas, but our country in general. I believe this is a good amendment. It further defines some of the social media platforms that we have concerns about, and I would urge you to support this amendment. Thank you.
Seeing no further, Representative Howerton would like to speak to the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a friendly amendment. I would consider that, and I do support it. There are 12 other apps or things that are controlled by ByteDance, so I'm okay with that. Thank you.
If there's no further discussion, Representative Owens, you may close.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I had my way, we would ban every piece of mobile application or website coming out of China, but we'll address that another day. So with that, I move my amendment.
You've heard the motion by Representative Owens to amend. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The motion to amend passes. Is there any further discussion on the bill? If there's no further discussion, Representative Howerton, you may close. I apologize. Representative Stogsdill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to reiterate the fact that I think this is a good bill. This does address a concern we have, and I would urge your support for the passage of this bill. Thank you, Madam Chair.
If there's no further discussion, Representative Howerton, you may close.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that when the committee rises and reports, it reports HB 2314 favorably for passage as amended.
You've heard the motion by Representative Howerton to report House Bill 2314 favorably. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. Motion passes. The next item of business is House Bill 2262. For the purposes of carrying House Bill 2262, the chair recognizes Representative Ellis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There were no amendments. I rise before the body to present House Bill 2262 that is brought to us by the Kansas Funeral Directors Association, and it's currently wanting to have a licensure of the embalmer as an application to serve a 12-month apprenticeship under the supervision of a licensed embalmer after completing mortuary school, posing a national board examination which is administered under the International Conference of Funeral Service Boards. This is what is currently happening. This is what currently they have. The House Bill 2262 would provide an application for the embalmer's license to an option to serve a split apprenticeship. The split apprenticeship, the first 6 months of the apprenticeship would serve in attending a mortuary science school, with the remaining 6 months served afterwards, 6 months before, 6 months afterwards. The bill would require the first 6 months of the apprenticeship to serve under direct personal supervision of a licensed embalmer. The second 6 months would serve under the working supervision of a licensed embalmer. The reason for this is that some students, after attending 30 hours of class, get discouraged in that last year. This would alleviate, they would know what they're getting into. So this is the gist of the bill. I stand for questions.
Does any member desire to speak to the bill? The chair recognizes Representative Ruiz.
Getting there.
The representative did a great job of explaining, and I urge everyone to vote yes on this bill. Thank you.
If there's no further discussion, Representative Ellis, you may close.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Possibly they said they would need 6 people to carry this bill, but I said no, I would do it. But I just found out about this at 4:30 last night, and I was scared to death to do this. I was kind of buried under the stress of all this. Some people said it was dead on arrival since I was carrying it, but I said it was a dead ringer to pass. So once we pass this thing, I think we can put it to rest. But anyway, thank you. There's more, but I decided not to do those. Madam Chair, I move when the body rises and they report HB 2262 favorably for passage.
You've heard the motion by Representative Ellis to report House Bill 2262 favorably. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. Motion passes. This concludes our general orders. The chair recognizes the majority leader.
Chair, I move we rise and report.
You heard the motion to rise and report. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The motion passes.
The clerk will read the committee report.
Mr. Speaker, your committee of the whole recommends House Bills 2100, 2096, 2093, 2262 be passed. House Bill 2314 be passed as amended.
The speaker recognizes Representative Concanon to adopt the committee of the whole report.
Mr. Speaker, I move the adoption of the committee report.
You've heard the motion to adopt the committee report. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The committee report is adopted. The speaker recognizes Representative Croft for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Rule 2311, I move that an emergency be declared and that House Bill 2100, House Bill 2096, House Bill 2093, House Bill 2314, House Bill 2262 be advanced to the order of business, final action on bills and concurrent resolutions.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. Motion passes. Final action on bills and concurrent resolutions, the clerk will read.
House Bill number 2100 by the Committee on Insurance, an act concerning insurance relating to risk-based capital requirements, updating the version of instruction in effect.
This constitutes final action on House Bill 2100. The clerk will open the roll and you may record your vote. Has every member had an opportunity to record their vote? The clerk will close the roll. Does any member desire to explain his or her vote? Does any member desire to change his or her vote? Seeing none, with 121 having voted in favor and 0 against the passage of House Bill 2100, the same having received a constitutional majority, the bill is hereby declared passed. The clerk will record the vote. Final action, the clerk will read.
House Bill number 2096 by the Committee on Insurance, an act concerning insurance relating to premium tax, adjusted the basis upon which certain premium tax calculations are made, requiring such premium taxes to be paid 90 days after each calendar year and basing such premium taxes upon the gross premiums collected for the previous calendar year.
This constitutes final action on House Bill 2096. The clerk will open the roll and you may record your vote. Has every member had the opportunity to record their vote? The clerk will close the roll. Does any member desire to explain his or her vote? Does any member desire to change his or her vote? Seeing none, with 121 having voted in favor and 0 against the passage of House Bill 2096, the same having received a constitutional majority, the bill is hereby declared passed. The clerk will record the vote. Final action, the clerk will read.
House Bill number 2093 by the Committee on Insurance, an act concerning insurance relating to certain group-funded insurance pools, discontinuing payments paid to the group-funded pools fee fund and the group-funded workers' compensation fee fund, transferring such balances and abolishing such funds, establishing the group-funded pools refund fund, refunding the balance thereof, and abolishing such fund on July 1, 2024.
This constitutes final action on House Bill 2093. The clerk will open the roll. You may record your vote. Has every member had the opportunity to record their vote? The clerk will close the roll. Does any member desire to explain his or her vote? Does any member desire to change his or her vote? Seeing none, with 120 voting in favor and 1 against the passage of House Bill 2093, the same having received a constitutional majority, the bill is hereby declared passed. The clerk will record the vote. Final action, the clerk will read.
House Bill number 2314 by the Committee on Legislative Modernization, an act concerning state-issued devices and networks relating to social media platforms, prohibiting the use of social media platforms of concern on such devices and networks.
This constitutes final action on House Bill 2314. The clerk will open the roll, and you may record your vote. Has every member had the opportunity to record their vote? The clerk will close the roll. Does any member desire to explain his or her vote? Does any member desire to change his or her vote? Representative Helgerson votes aye. Any further changes? Saying none. With 109 voting in favor and 12 against the passage of House Bill 2314, the same having received a constitutional majority, the bill is hereby declared passed. The clerk will record the vote. Final action, the clerk will read.
House Bill number 2262 by the Committee on Health and Human Services, an act concerning public health relating to embalmer educational requirements, allowing an individual to complete 6 months of an embalmer apprenticeship prior to enrolling in a school of mortuary science.
This constitutes final action on House Bill 2262. The clerk will open the roll, and you may record your vote. Has every member had the opportunity to record their vote? The clerk will close the roll. Does any member desire to explain his or her vote? Does any member desire to change his or her vote? Seeing none, with 121 having voted in favor and 0 against the passage of House Bill 2262, the same having received a constitutional majority, the bill is hereby declared passed. The clerk will record the vote. Reports of standing committees. The clerk will read.
Committee on Agriculture and Natural Resources recommends House Bill 2047 be amended. The bill be passed as amended. Committee on Health and Human Services recommends House Bill 2288 be amended. The bill be passed as amended. Committee on Health and Human Services recommends House Bill 2259 be amended. The bill be passed as amended. Committee on Agriculture and Natural Resources recommends House Bill 2159 be passed. Committee on Agriculture and Natural Resources recommends House Bill 2160 be amended. The bill be passed as amended. Committee on Financial Institutions and Pensions recommends House Bill 2102 be amended, and the bill be passed as amended. Committee on K-12 Education Budget recommends House Bill 2271 be amended, and the bill be passed as amended. Committee on Local Government recommends House Bill 2083 be amended. The bill be passed as amended. Committee on K-12 Education Budget recommends House Bill 2261 be passed. Committee on Taxation recommends House Bill 2036 be passed. Committee on Taxation recommends House Bill 2135 be passed. Committee on Insurance recommends House Bill 2097 be passed. Committee on Insurance recommends House Bill 2094 be passed. Committee on Insurance recommends House Bill 2098 be passed. Committee on Federal and State Affairs recommends House Bill 2269 be passed. Committee on Financial Institutions and Pensions recommends House Bill 2197 be amended. The bill be passed as amended. Committee on Corrections and Juvenile Justice recommends House Bill 2329 be passed. Committee on Corrections and Juvenile Justice recommends House Bill 2398 be amended, and the bill be passed as amended. Committee on Education recommends House Bill 2238 be passed. Committee on Education recommends House Bill 2080 be amended. The bill be passed as amended. Committee on Education recommends House Bill 2081 be passed. Committee on Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications recommends House Bill 2226 be passed. Committee on Transportation recommends House Bill 2298 be amended. The bill be passed as amended. Committee on Agricultural and Natural Resources recommends House Bill 2332 be passed. Committee on Calendar and Printing recommends on requests for resolutions and certificates that requests by Representatives Dodson, Hawkins, Blue, Pickard, White, and Roth be approved, and the Chief Clerk of the House be directed to order the printing of said certificates and the drafting of said resolutions.
The Speaker recognizes the Majority Leader to adopt the calendar and printing report.
I move adoption of the committee report.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. Motion carries. Okay. Announcements. Representative Brian Bergkamp will replace Representative Jesse Bourgeon on the House Commerce, Labor, and Economic Development Committee on February 16th. This appointment will expire at the end of the day on February 16th. Representative Hill will replace Representative Corbett on the House Committee on Taxation on February 16th. This appointment will expire at the end of the day on February 16th. Representative Auerkamp will replace Representative Bourgeon on the House Commerce, Labor, and Economic Development Committee on February 20th. This appointment will expire at the end of the day on February 20th. Representative Blake Carpenter will replace Representative Tom Kessler on the House Federal and State Affairs Committee on February 21st. This appointment will expire at the end of the day on February 21st. Representative Auerkamp will replace Representative Kessler on the House Commerce, Labor, and Economic Development Committee on February 21st. This appointment will expire at the end of the day on February 21st. Representative Haskins replaces Representative Carlin on the House Agriculture and Natural Resources Committee on February 16th, 2023 for one day only. Representative Owsley replaces Representative Louis Ruiz on the House Education Committee on February 16th, 2023 for one day only. Representative Nguyen replaces Representative Sawyer on the House Higher Education Budget Committee on February 17th, 2023 for one day only. Are there further announcements? The Speaker recognizes Representative Owens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee Corrections Committee today has been canceled due to a lack of conferees and a couple bills not quite ready to be worked yet. So canceled for today. Thank you.
Further announcements? The Speaker recognizes Representative Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. For Democrats, we will have Thursday Summit and in our regular room 152 South, and also we will have lunch provided. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Are there any further announcements? Seeing none, the Speaker recognizes the Majority Leader for a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Veterans Caucus. Again, Veterans Caucus will meet Monday, February 20th at 12 o'clock in the first floor rotunda, and then we'll move up to 281 later for lunch. Mr. Speaker, I move the House adjourn until Friday, February 17th at 8:30 a.m. pro forma.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it. We are adjourned.